Today, I want to briefly introduce you to the value that a governance of enterprise IT, or GITE system, can bring. GITE is a discipline concerned primarily with organizing the resources of an enterprise for the purpose of satisfying stakeholder needs and creating value. It brings alignment between high-level strategic objectives with operational level activities and work outcomes. What does that mean in practice? In short, successful implementation of GITE ensures that IT activities and programs are fully in line with the larger organizational goals so that IT is working to optimize the business strategy and is part of the solution rather than the adjunct participant in an organization's success. Evaluate, direct, and monitor. These key elements make up the activities of GITE and are what enterprise leaders focus on. GITE initiatives must take a balanced and holistic view of the 5 GITE focus areas: strategic alignment, risk management, value delivery, resource management, and performance measurement. Successfully implementing GITE depends on several factors: change management, communication, proper scoping, and identification of achievable objectives. The outcomes of a successful GITE implementation produce both shorter-term tangible benefits, such as reduced cost, and longer-term benefits, such as enhanced management of IT-related risk. Initially, for an enterprise to implement a new GITE system, commitment must be secured from the highest levels. GITE implementations can only succeed when the C-suite, board of directors, and others of the highest authority drive the need for it. After commitment to implementing GITE is in place, the real work begins. A project team must be assembled, and they should take ownership of getting the appropriate GITE elements in place. This implementation team should then develop a project plan based on the 7 implementation phases from the COBIT 5 implementation guide. One of the earliest actions the project team will undertake is selecting a framework. A GITE ecosystem should include multiple frameworks, best practices, standards, and bodies of knowledge. Managing these multiple models can be a daunting task, which is why COBIT 5 is the preferred model at tying in all of the industry tools into a single integrated framework. A short list of these tools include ISO standards, such as ISO IEC 38500, the governance for the IT organization. ISO IEC 27000 for security. ISO IEC 20000 for service management. And ISO 31000 for risk. Frameworks such as COSO, or the Committee of Sponsoring Organizations of the Treadway Commission, for enterprise controls. ITIL, or the IT Infrastructure Library, for service management. TOGAF, the Open Group Architecture Framework, for enterprise architecture. PRINCE2, projects in controlled environments. And finally, bodies of knowledge such as the PMBOK, or the Project Management Body of Knowledge. Determining what the enterprise needs is done through a complete examination of stakeholder requirements. These requirements determine all enterprise goals that follow. These enterprise goals will make clear what resources or enablers will be required. The key is to plan the work and then work the plan. First, establish an implementation plan and secure approval from the highest level of authority. This acts as a project charter and provides authority to the project team members in conducting the implementation. This authority is necessary because resources will be needed from various areas in the enterprise, and their superiors must be committed to their availability. Then, follow the implementation plan, delivering on milestones and creating project continuation or departure points. Use appropriate tools such as the COBIT Goals Cascade and RACI charts in determining how strategic goals and stakeholder objectives will be satisfied. Apply the framework as broadly as the enterprise needs. Finally, you need to manage the change. Consider whether there are multiple frameworks or sets of standards in place in the enterprise. If there are, plan for their integration into the overarching framework. consider which framework is the most appropriate for GITE over IT resources. As you plan, work, and manage change, you need to understand the difference between available and necessary resources. Enterprise resources need to tie processes into the internal control environment, which will likely have risk and controls detailed against a control matrix of control designs and control objectives. Plan to provide detail on how control objectives can be made from governance and management practices. Be careful to provide only the level of GITE detail that the enterprise needs. In particular, define domains, processes, and practices only to the extent that the users and the enterprise need them. Be mindful that a common language is an important aspect to a successful framework implementation. As you can see, an enterprise has much to gain and very little to lose from implementing a GITE program. In doing so, the enterprise's IT department will be more closely aligned with larger enterprise goals and will likely experience lower costs, greater control, and overall increased efficiency and effectiveness.